Welcome to our last section of this course, Section 4, Quality Control and Internal Audits, the art and science of objective evaluations and constructive criticism. Quality control should be the top priority for home artisans and crafters by the choice of materials, equipment, in our production, and our finished products, and shelf life, etc. But quality is more than your product's performance and aesthetics. It's about taking pride in your work, using a growth mindset, upholding your ethics and your integrity of your product and your platform, and knowing that your product represents what you describe it to be. We as home artisans and crafters wear many hats. Performing quality control and an internal audit on ourselves requires us to be able to take a step back and look at our work objectively without any bias. This is difficult and it requires techniques and skills to self-evaluate. It is vitally important for home artisans and crafters to be able to perform quality control and internal audits for GMP. If you are not comfortable performing a quality control evaluation or an internal audit on yourself, then look to hire someone qualified in that field. A great place to start is to ask a friend who you know is not afraid to tell you like it is. This type of constructive criticism is healthy for you, and it provides you with insight towards developing your quality standards. The learning outcomes for this final lesson are: 1. To understand why it's important to perform quality control on your products and your operating platform. 2. The importance of scheduling an internal audit on your products and your operating platform. 3. What constructive criticism teaches us about ourselves and GMP. And 4. How cognitive bias influences our decision-making when self-evaluating our performance. Now, the core concept for this section is constructive criticism will encourage our design thinking, and cognitive biases will prepare us for self-evaluations. The evolution of a product developer means in part to be able to detach from your product objectively and without bias. The art and science of using objective criticism to our advantage and allowing mistakes to happen in our product's evolution without throwing in the towel is a skill that comes with practice. This is hard, no doubt. We set high expectations of our creations, we choose the best ingredients, and we expect the highest outcomes. But sometimes it just doesn't work out the way we planned, and that is okay. We document your process and your product journey, and GMP requires documentation that shows that you have developed the best procedure that produces the best results. Here is where the art of constructive criticism comes into play. You need to be able to see your flaws, notice the tiniest of details, and not be afraid to redo any of your product processes. Turn off your emotions and think mechanically and objectively. Look at your products as if you were seeing them for the first time as the consumer, not the maker. Cognitive bias is real for product developers. It can inhibit our design thinking and our performance. What we think is right about our product could not be right to the consumer. Our design thinking allows us to step out of the box of self and consider our audience. Now take a look at the resources I've included for you on cognitive biases. Read through the articles and think about how your design thinking relates to your platform. For some of us, admitting our bias to our platform will be the most difficult to achieve. This takes discipline and setting standards that you would not normally use every day in our life outside of our operating platform. This is your responsibility as a home artisan and crafter to uphold your accountability of your ethical standards, your integrity, and critical decision making, even at the last minute, facing a deadline, and to admit that the quality of your products are just not met. Now let's look at embracing the quality of a finished product, another beast to tackle for GMP. Now, when designing your quality control sheets, do not be afraid to hold back your integrity. Your finished product and its final packaging should be a customer experience. Do you take that in consideration in your design thinking? Part of your SOP is the final packaging, which has its own steps and phases. In this phase of quality control, how does your packaging look? Are there sloppy places, crooked printing, smeared printing faces, etc.? Objectively take a step back and look at your final product sitting on a shelf on display. How does it really look? Now, in your binder, you have a tab for samples and retained samples. Here you will document your samples and record how many samples you have given out, and even better, include feedback from those who will provide it. You could also create a customer survey and include it in your records. This will give you insight on your products and help you see what needs improvement. Now, for your retained samples section, you will need to document and record the behavior and observations of your products to determine its shelf life, and retained samples are not for sale. GMP requires that you uphold your quality and you conduct scheduled internal audits to ensure that you operate within their guidelines. Your quality control and audit sheets should be extremely detailed and kept up to date. Provided are resources on GMP quality control and internal audits. Read over them. Get some ideas on how you would conduct an internal audit. Remember, your audit hat is on. Be judgmental to yourself and to your platform. This will invigorate your design thinking and allow for improvement in areas that you might not have seen as a maker. You will have a tab in your GMP binder for quality control and internal audits. Reflect on what your platform needs to work on and what GMP procedures you are missing. You can get creative here. You can devise a scorecard and see where you stand and to set some goals. Should you enroll in a class and obtain any certifications? What is needed to better educate you and your operating platform's performance? What can you do to make your GMP more accountable? How can you improve quality standards and audit checklists? These are just a few questions that should come to mind when performing an internal audit checklist. As we draw near to the end of this course, remember that your journey in GMP as a home artisan and crafter is solely dependent on how far you want to go. I want you to succeed, and I hope I have brought you insight and directional knowledge of how to implement GMP in your home operating platform. Now, constructing a GMP binder is just the beginning. There are many, many more components that GMP requires for certification, and we've only covered some of the most difficult topics for you to lay the groundwork. Now, use these core concepts to apply directional knowledge towards your GMP goal. 1 is flow theory for spreadsheets and accounting. 2 is deliberate practices by knowledge acquisition for your SOPs. 3 is constructive criticism for quality control and cognitive biases for internal audits. Now gather your materials for your showcase product on its quality control and write up an internal audit sheet for your binder. And then use the PDF provided. Please answer the questions in the assignments section. Congratulations! You have completed the course. Good luck on constructing your GMP binder. Please leave me a review so I can improve future courses. Thank you so much. This presentation was created in Canva. The audio was spoken by me, Michelle Carmichael, and all of the content was written by me, Michelle Carmichael. Thank you so much.